I'm trying to figure this thing out. I don't know how to do this. How do I get my channel up here so I can see the chat? I have no freaking idea. Where's that at? There it is. All right, I'll be back in a little bit because I'm not ready yet. I guess I am live now. Hey guys, this is a little bit of what I've done. Hey, how you doing, Chucker? Caleb. Used a router and I freehand carved this, and it's after 4 o'clock. I think these guys would be done for the day. Anyways, what can I say? I carved this out earlier today. It actually the past couple days and painted it up, put the final coat of clear coat on it today, and it's turned out pretty nice. So just wanted to show you guys this, trying to figure out how to do these lives, because as you know, I don't do very many of them. So this one here I think turned out pretty nice. Then I got this one here for our 250th birthday, if you will, or anniversary. And hey Dan, how you doing? Roy, nice to see you here, Roy. Thank you. Sorry I missed your live earlier. I was busy. Hey Kevin. So that's what I got going on there. And if I can figure out how to do this stuff, I'll try to go ahead and do this pyrography thing here. I don't know if you can see the pattern very much. It's got a soldier with his gun, with his backpack on, kneeling at the cross. Above that, it's got a heart showing love for country. So, I'm a little early. Sorry, Amy Jo. Okay, let's see if I can gotta turn this machine on. I'd close the garage door, but then it gets so stinking hot in here. But these truckers don't decide. I guess they're working till 5. Oh, good. Well, let's go ahead and start doing some stars up here. I already started doing some of them, as you can see up here. Okay, it needs to come up a little bit more. Is this thing even... Come on. It's not on yet. Turned the wrong one on. Silly me. There, it's getting warm. Come on, warm up. Turn it up a little bit more. Not the perfect drawer, so they're going to look a little funky, but it'll be unique. Obviously, the left side of the heart is going to be blue. I'm going to alternate red and white stripes here. And of course, the stars will be white. Best wood burning tips. As far as the tip that I got here, it's an itty bitty little ball. I like it because it seems to go smooth over this wood. Now if I'm shading, this is for drawing lines or doing letters. So if I'm shading, I'll use one like this, and that'll give me a little bit better shape. I can get them on the camera here. Use this one here for shading. And that it also does good for cutting lines because it's got that narrow edge right there. But I found when I use that, it tends to cut into the wood a little bit more. But this is just one of those little cheap kits that you get on Amazon. It has two pens. And I don't know if you saw the post of what I did, or I showed it off on DeLand's Live back at the beginning of the year, was of an LST 861. That was my first non-practice wood burning project. And that's up on my channel. Feel free to check that out. Just so happens the LST 861 was the ship my dad was on. And that was a picture that somebody had taken of it leaving San Francisco Bay as they're heading out in World War II. Dad was an electrician's mate on that ship. And he always said he wasn't a hero. Everybody said he was a hero because he went out World War II on a ship and made it through all that stuff with all the submarines and all that stuff. He said he wasn't a hero. He stayed on the boat. I remember he was all of about 18 years old at the time, maybe 19. And to be honest, I don't blame him for staying on the boat. Okay, these patterns that I got here, they're actually a sign carving pattern that I got in a bundle a while back from these freehand router carving, sign carving folks on makeawoodsign.com. Oops. Am I allowed to say that on live? I don't know. Anyways, they have some great patterns. The two signs I showed you earlier were part of their stencils that they had, or patterns. And I got a video that I recorded of that, but I haven't put it up yet because I am lousy at editing. So, hey, hi Pete. Hi Dan. Let's see, who else did I miss? I know I missed somebody because I've been looking at my my board here. I want to thank you guys for showing up. But anyways, this is something I started to do when I couldn't really get out and do a lot of carving over the winter because it got too cold. And it so I could actually take this in the morning, and after I had my breakfast, I could sit down and do a little burning on some stuff here. As long as it didn't create too much of a stink, my wife didn't mind too much. But then I would sit there at the dining room table, and that's where I would do my painting of the items. But anyways, that LST 861 was different than some of these earlier ones, and the ones that were used over there in the invasion of Normandy. My dad was out in the Pacific. The early LSTs that they made for going over there, they had an elevator that would lower down and bring the vehicles down from the top after the belly of the ship got unloaded. And they decided that took too long to offload the troops and the materials. So what they did is they made a ramp so that after the cargo, the equipment and the troops and that were in the belly of the ship would, once they disembarked from the ship, they would lower that ramp down, and the vehicles up top would just drive like they're coming out of a parking garage. And that way the ship was free to leave the shore a lot quicker, so they became less of a target. Did a lot of things. My dad, when he was on that ship in World War II, he's been to Iwo Jima, but he was actually in on the one of the ships that invaded on Okinawa at Punta Gordo, I think was the name of the beach, the code name for it. Of course, somebody's got a call. Hi, everybody. Are we back? Are we back? Hey, Amy. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that, folks. I had a phone call from my concrete guy. He's going to come over Wednesday to just make sure we got things going on that. So I might get my floor of my barn here next week. So that'll be a great thing. Sorry about the interruption, folks, but I had to take that call. So I'm trying to draw around this heart, and at the same time pick up these stars here. So where did I leave off, guys, when I got that phone call? Hi, Miss Amy M. And there goes another truck. I was hoping they'd be done by now, but oh well. So I saw these two patterns sitting in my box full of stencils, and I thought I'd put them together here, and I think it works really well. I don't know, can you see the bottom one all right? Just the kneeling soldiers there. Hey Van, how you doing? Hi Cheryl. Hey William, Barry, Amy. I missed a whole bunch of people because it's just the way it is when you're on the live. You hate to miss people, but it happens. Apologize for all the traffic noise. I'm in my garage, and that's about 35 foot from the road. It's a residential road, but they got a lot of stuff going on down the street. Comes another dump truck. So like I said earlier, these stars are going to be white, obviously. The field that the stars are in will be blue, just like on the flag. And then up on the top, on my top now, on the right side of that heart, those are going to be red and white stripes when I get done painting it. So, what's everybody up to today besides watching some old guy try to burn some wood? Let's see, try to drag him here. Hey, Shoops will be going live tonight. Hi Heidi, how you doing? Hey Soldier, how you doing, brother? You really need to get together sometime and have breakfast or something like that. Or if you're ever over in Inglewood, come on over. We'll stop by. We'll have a cup of coffee or something. We're having burgers and fries at our Legion post Wednesday night if you're available there, Jim. But I know that's about the time that you do your lives. Okay, I think I got those stars in there. This one up here, I kind of traced it in there twice, so I only did the one that looked like it was kind of in line. Might have grabbed the wrong one. But that's what makes it unique. This morning we had to let the carpet people in at the church do a few more rooms. While I was there, you know, this big old pile of dirt where the big dumpster was from all the renovations. So I had to clean that up, and but then Willie took it over to our dumpster. And of course, I couldn't lift that wheelie up because it was a bunch of dirt. So I ended up dumping it on the ground right there. Then I used a shovel to shovel it up and throw it in the dumpster. Quite a bit of work for a 68-year-old disabled vet. I shouldn't have said that. Yes, I have disability, but it doesn't stop me too much. That is when all things are working well. I'm not sure why it's giving me a bunch of dots like that. Is it too hot? I don't know. Because I'm just bouncing on the grain. For guys that came in a little bit later, because I said I was going to start at 4:30, and I ended up playing with this thing, and it went live, and then a bunch of people jumped in. Here is one of the signs I did earlier, past couple days. And that's the one of them for $250, and here's just the regular 1776 We the People with the cross muskets. Those I've been working on. These are done in aspen, and what they do, aspen is a soft wood, very much like basswood. When you hit that with a high-speed router, there is dust going everywhere, and it does try to grab if you hit just a little bit of a hard spot in the wood, and it will pull you. So you have to be very careful and keep your hands on that router when you do that. They use what is some people, it's like a 17-degree bit. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Like I said, I got a video of making those, at least one of them, that I'm in the process of editing. But I want to do a voiceover, and figuring out how to do a voiceover on some of this software is a pain in the keister. So I think tonight all I'll do is just do this heart up here. When I'm done with that, we'll call it a night. I'll work on this one tomorrow, because I know dinner is coming pretty soon. Maybe I'll just keep going until she tells me dinner's ready. Got to thinking about doing some of the Pyrography stuff again. It's been a while since I've done one, because I've been watching Grumpy, and that's all he's been doing this past week. A lot of that, and so you guys know Grumpy. If you don't know Grumpy, you need to check him out. Grumpy Laid Back Carvings, no C in the back. He's pretty cool. He comes on at 6:30 in the morning, my time, Eastern time. So it's a nice little wake up when you're getting your coffee going and making your breakfast. I know a few of you. I've seen a few of you on his lives. He does mostly lives anymore. I don't think he does any videos anymore, or if he does, it's not very often. Hey, Mims. Nice to see you guys here. Dad. Let's see, who else did I miss? Somebody else popped in there, I'm sure. Oh, it's just so great having you guys here today. Yeah, feel free to share channels out there. I have no idea how to make people moderators or not, so I'm still learning this stuff, guys. But feel free to post your channels out there so the other folks can see them. Yes, I'm back, Roy. I had a phone call. It was my concrete guy trying to get us set up to do my concrete work. And then 30 days after we get done pouring that floor, I can start moving all my stuff into my new workshop. I think I posted it's either a short or a still of my cramped work area. Roy, you thought your area was tight? My area right now is so tight, it's ridiculous, with all the stuff in the garage that was in my old shed. It's sitting in the garage right now, and I don't have room to move in here hardly at all. And here comes another truck. So, I have no idea what they're doing there. I'm not sure if they're bringing stuff in for the asphalt company or if they're building something behind them. But it goes right past their driveway into a construction drive. I imagine the city's got some project going on there. So. And another one. Yeah, Grumpy is definitely an early bird. And then he'll sit there on his live sometimes saying, I stayed up so late last night. He's a pretty nice guy, though. Yeah, I'm going to be done with this heart here pretty soon. I might go over there. I might continue on onto the bottom. But this tip is getting a little warm. Right, I'm going to paint this heart with some acrylic paints, maybe with a paint pen. But I'm a soldier. I'm not sure if I'm going to just paint him or if I'm going to do a bunch of shading on him. What do you guys think I should do? Try my hand at a little bit of shading? All right. Well, I think that top turned out pretty nice. What do you guys think? That heart turned out okay? Hey, thanks, William. Thanks, Cheryl. Normally when I'm out here doing this, I'm listening to one of my favorite XM radio stations, and but I know if I did that on a live, I would get tagged by YouTube and they would give me a strike. So let's not do that. No, there's a number of us that have either served or have family members that have served. I know I served. I was in the Air Force for 11 years. And in that time I've lost some friends while I was active duty and since. And not as devastating to some folks that have lost them in the heat of battle. All my time was during some call it peacetime. I call it Cold War time. Post-Vietnam era. And in the last 4 years in there, I was in a mobile communications unit. And I didn't work on radios. I worked on some equipment that would just scramble messages. So all the classified messages and that couldn't be detected by the other side or whoever was listening. It was encryption stuff. But our van that we worked out of was an old C30 step van, an old Chevy C30 step van. Hi, McCall. See who else popped in there. Anyways, we were, thank you, William. And our little C30 step van, some of you might know them more like a bread truck. That you see dropping bread off from the bakery going out to the grocery stores and stuff. Got a camouflage bread truck. And out of that bread truck, we could run all sorts of communication services. Not necessarily at the same time, but we had the capable to adapt to whatever we needed to adapt to. And we would be the comm center for an advanced troop or group that would go out there. The civil engineers would go out and they would set up the base. We would set up communications, and we would have an air traffic controller in there with us too, if that's what the mission called for. Didn't have any radar equipment. It would all be visual flight rules. But we would tell them that it's okay to land or not, depending upon the situation. And some of my brothers from out of Florida and out of Oklahoma running the same type of equipment. They were in on the liberation of Grenada from the Cubans back years ago. We were on call, but the operation went real well, and they didn't need us to come in. So this pen's starting to get hot. I'm running this tip at about 560 degrees. And again, I apologize for the noise, folks. But we'll get this thing burned in here today. And I hope I did this justice. because I had to add a few of these inner lines because the pattern I had was just the silhouette of it. So I've added some in there to try to show the soldier there kneeling down. And here's his left leg. And he's kind of sitting on his heel there. Over here is the top of his right boot. But I mentioned a few of my friends that have passed away, that some on active duty, some weren't. Our operations officer, I had a lot of respect for that man. He passed away over in the Persian Gulf. I don't know if y'all remember a little ship called the LaSalle. Oh, this would have been before Gulf War I. We were out there keeping tabs on what was going on, and he was on a helicopter that was trying to land on the LaSalle, and the seas were a little rough, and unfortunately the came up, and as the helicopter was coming down, they slammed into each other. Everybody on the helicopter perished. Horrible way to go. He's the one who gave me my last oath of enlistment before I got out. I think I'm hearing rain. It is. It's starting to sprinkle a little bit. And there goes the guy on a motorcycle. He's going to get wet. Then I had another good friend of mine. He's over in the Gulf, and he was a smoker. So he made a point of telling everybody that he used to smoke. Spent his last years walking around with a oxygen tank. He ended up with COPD because he was over there not just as a smoker, but also with all when the fires of Kuwait were going on. He's over there during that and breathing a lot of stuff that really hurt his lungs. So he ended up with COPD, and I miss him a lot. Let me tell you about Andy. I was going through a rough time when I first showed up at the 5th. And he was my NCOIC and became more than just a boss. Became a good friend. He would do anything for you. You know, he was a boss simply because of his experience. But as far as the rest of us, he was a friend. He would help you out in a heartbeat. And tell you, there was one time my son was coming back from his brother's house. My boys were both in the Army. And my youngest one was stationed in Columbus, Georgia, Fort Benning. And my oldest was over there in Savannah. The name of that fort escapes me. He's been to so many different forts, I get them all mixed up. Fort Stewart, there it is. And my youngest was heading back home, and his car broke down about halfway. And I wasn't anywhere where I could help him because I was up here in Ohio. So I called Andy, heading to impose. Said, Andy, my son's broken down. Get off of 16 near the Warner Robins exit. You know of any place out there you can call to help him pick up his car and get his car fixed for him? Andy says he doesn't need anybody to pick up his car. I'll go out there and I'll fix it for him. He went out there, took a look at it, found out what was wrong, got that thing going for him. They worked together. And, I don't know, it must have cost him about 40 or 50 bucks to do that. I told him, I'll send you a check. He said, no. Do not take a check from me. Sorry. He says, next time you're in town, you just take me out to dinner. Which we did. Sorry. So anyways, I'm doing that. Excuse me. Doing this in remembrance of all my friends. Sorry guys. Hey Lawrence, how you doing? Yeah, you caught a live of mine. I don't do too many of them because I have a hard time getting this equipment to work right sometimes. Yeah, let's see if I can do this hand. Thanks, Carol. Try not to get emotional. I should know better than to talk about it because it just tears me. Anyways, guys, this is one of those mean black guns that everybody cries about on the news. That when you're out there somewhere, my sons will attest to that, when people are shooting at you, this mean gun becomes your best friend. The youngest of 10 years. My oldest retired from the Army. They both survived. They got scars that'll, emotional scars that'll be with them forever. So, anyways, guys, I'm almost done here. Sorry about losing it there. So what do you think? Should I go back and do a little shading? Oh God, it's 5 o'clock and these guys still aren't done. They're almost 5 o'clock and these still aren't done. Okay. I think I'm going to shade this cross a little bit and try to. Hopefully I don't ruin it. It keeps getting caught on my workbench here. Let's see. Thanks, Lawrence. Yeah, just a couple days ago was the 82nd anniversary of the D-Day invasion of France. Hey Steve, how you doing? Yeah, I should go to the Legion tonight and get me one of those. That's fine. Not everybody can serve, and for whatever reason, they wouldn't let me do my 20. I wanted to do 20, they wouldn't let me. Yeah, got out on a medical because have a chronic condition that stays with me the rest of my life. It's called colitis. I don't know if any guys are familiar with that. It's a nasty little thing for your body to do to you. Hope none of you ever have it. But they came down with that diagnosis and says, you're not deployable. We can't have you in the service if you're not deployable. So I got a disability discharge. All good conduct. Yeah, Bill, you do some fantastic stuff. You find some of those deals that are just awesome. I don't know where you must live in a spot where people buy a lot of stuff and then they decide they don't want it and sell it off like that. And at a bargain basement price too. That's amazing. How's that cross looking to you guys? So I just continue with the lines or try to just do a flat burn on it. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, John. Okay. I think for burning, I'm pretty much done on what I'm going to burn. Bring this across. Yeah, when I paint this, I think I'm going to put him in a desert camo, but I'll have some grass growing up around here. Oh, let's give him an eye. Think he needs an eye, guys? Let's give him an eye. A little bit of a slit for an eye. There. Perfect. I got another message for something. Ooh. Anyways. Yeah, I think this is it. I'm going to try to paint this tomorrow. And I might do another live here, showing it as I did a little short maybe in doing that. And again, I apologize for breaking down. But it happens. Oh, cool, Carol. That sounds neat. Love to see it. You got a video you're going to put up on that, or a still you're going to put up on a post? Oh, Lawrence, cool. Yeah, I do a tad bit of scroll saw work. If you saw my little horse pendant that I made, I did that with the scroll saw, and then I got it rough shape, and then I carved it out with the Dremel. It was a little too small for me to use my knives on. Let's see, where are they? Nothing up back here. Where did I put them? Oh, here they are. I cut these out on the scroll saw. Here, let me see if I can get a little closer here. There you go, now you can see it. Then I carved a little Star of Bethlehem in there. And then I put this one, the little palm frond in there, or my version of it. And if you see my channel, you've seen my little thumb crosses that I've done. I swirl them out and then I finish them up with the Dremel. But anyways, I think that's it, guys. It's getting close to dinner time. And I'm going to go and get cleaned up for dinner. Whoops, sorry about that. Okay, let's give me a gray screen on here. What do you think? That would be too busy on there. Yeah, that's too busy. But I like how this turned out, and that, hope you guys like it. I'll try to get it painted tomorrow, depending upon what I got going on. Renovations at the church keep me busy, and I use this to try to relax. Okay, cool, Carol. Amy, thank you. Guys, everybody, I can't name you all. And appreciate you stopping by. And thanks for putting up with an old blubbering old man here. So, anyways, you guys take care. Love you guys. And you guys have a great night. Bye.